Hey everyone, this is Austin Schur here with We Write About Music, and today I'm speaking with Kayden. She has just released a fantastic new track called No Maybe, and I'm super excited to talk to her all about it. Kayden, I want to sincerely thank you so much for coming on today. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me. It's a
You, yeah.
oh, sorry. You
No,
know,
I'm happy to have you.
yeah, I'm really excited to talk to you about the single and some music that I have coming up.
Nice. Well, I'm super excited to talk to you all about it. Let's just hop right into it. So I probably listened to the song 10 times over already, and it's gotten better with every listen. But like any song, I can only do so much in connecting the dots on the lyrics. So I'd love to hear from you. Like, what is this song about? What inspired it? And all the fun details.
Okay, yeah. So, No Maybe is actually one of the first songs I ever recorded in the studio. I
Nice.
was around, yeah, around 13. And it's funny because we only released it recently because I ended up doing, I re-recorded some vocals on it. And at the time, at the beginning of my career, we were like, we want something a little bit not so, we wanted something a little bit more poppy. You know what I mean?
Sure,
So this
sure.
song is kind of sitting in the archive for quite some time.
Yeah.
So, when we got the chance, to rework on it again, I was really excited because it was the first song I ever wrote, and it was the first time I traveled to LA. I actually met a boy out there.
As
I
one
won't say
does.
his name, but you know
That's
how
okay.
life is. Meet a
Yeah,
boy
yeah,
and write a song about it. And at the time, I was only living out in LA for 2 months, so um, we were going through something, the teenage love that you think you're going through, and
yeah.
time he wouldn't give me a straightforward answer. He kept just saying like maybe, and I was so frustrated. And I got into the studio and I told my producer Dustin Atlas what was going on,
Hmm.
and that's pretty much how it was created. Like I need a yes, no,
Right.
no maybes, and I mean
Yeah.
that's exactly how it came about. A lot of my songs that I've written in the studio all really come from certain situations or how I'm expressing myself about like things that are happening, and yeah, no maybe he's a perfect song for that.
Oh, I love that because there's no better music than personal music. I feel like there's too much music that's like inventing fake situations that clearly never happened.
Yeah,
But when it happened, it just, I don't know, it feels better in the end.
yeah,
And also, there's something about like really short relationships, or at least ones that have end times, maybe in your situation, where it kind of just expedites the process. You're like, okay, we have 2 months. Like, what's going on? Are we doing this? Are we not doing this? So figure
exactly.
it out.
It was hard to get closure, and I feel like
Yeah.
that song and music was kind of a perfect way, especially in situations like that, like
Yeah.
short relationships or certain things that were happening. It was like it was a perfect song for it. Yeah.
Totally. And I'm actually happy you brought this up because I had no idea that this song had been sitting around for a little while, which is really cool. I took the opportunity to listen to some of your, earlier work, and this definitely feels like more of a mature approach to at least not necessarily the songwriting, but just kind of the vibe of the song.
Yeah.
Was that like the vision, like at the beginning, or I don't know, how did it come about?
Yeah, so I growing up, all I sang was really soul R&B kind
Sure.
of pop. So when we first got into the studio, we wanted to create something that still spoke to me as an artist, but still needed to be marketable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially in the music industry. So
Right.
we had the two songs. It was No Maybe that we made first, then Kiss Kiss Baby. And out of those two songs, Kiss Kiss Baby just seems like the one that was going to,
Yeah.
hit. But when it came to No Maybe, it was definitely musically was something that I could like how do I say that? Like vocally it was something that I knew I was capable of, more of like the soul rich kind of feeling.
Yeah.
And what's really funny is that the chorus in No Maybe is still my vocals from when I was 13 because
Really?
he tried to re-record it, and it didn't have the same like passion and
Sure.
tone that it did in that chorus. Like I could make it in the verse because it's like beautiful flowy, but the power like I get you, you know what
Right,
I mean?
right.
So it's like it needed to stay in there. But yeah, No Maybe, I mean, I always that's the song that's my baby because it's soulful, and R&B. It just speaks to how I was when I first started out with music, and still to how I am now. But I
Yeah.
definitely say out of all songs, that is what I'm most like gravitated to because of the R&B and the soul. Does that make
Right.
sense?
It totally makes sense. I know what you mean. Well, that's the thing with being an artist is like you're the one that's spending the most time and effort and energy. It's like you want to make the music that you want to make, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know, when you have teams behind you, it's like, but this is gonna hit and this is gonna sell. But it's like, well, yeah, I'm also the one whose name is on it. So I kind of wanna,
Exactly.
it's a fine line, but I personally really enjoy this like avenue of music. It feels a lot more
Yeah.
focused and it's got great lyrics. And obviously, I want to keep the focus on this song, but I also want to talk about what you've got coming up. And it sounds like there's a lot. So I'm gonna give you the opportunity to say what you can or cannot say. I know it's complicated in that realm, but please.
Yeah, so I actually my single Crave actually premiered today on Sweetie High, but it actually really releases tomorrow. I
Nice.
believe I believe at 9 a.m. I'm not sure actually, but sometime tomorrow it is
Okay.
releasing. So Crave is the next single, which
Sweet.
I'm really excited about. I did record that in the studio about 3 years ago, but I always pull things out of
It's okay. Well, you're a busy
releasing them.
person. That
I know
happens.
it's so bad, but it's like I have so many songs that I like want to show people. Just
Sure.
you wait. There's a lot coming, I swear. So that releases tomorrow, and then I have an EP coming, my first debut EP in October, which I'm really excited about because there's some songs in there that I've been in the making for a few years.
Yeah,
And I've
sounds
been
like
sitting
it.
on them for a while. And there may be a cover in there. And I feel like it really shows how I am as an artist. I'm not exactly just in one box. I kind of like to play around, and I feel
Yeah,
like the songs that are in there will really represent that. And I just hope everybody loves it and is gonna enjoy the songs. And I'm still creating music, and
sure.
hopefully we will have a music video coming out soon after
Nice.
the EP.
What is the name of the EP? If you don't, you don't have to say. It's
I
fine.
like I kind of want it to be like that moment. I mean,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no,
it's
no. Hey,
definitely
don't let
it's
make me
something that
pressure you.
yeah, yeah. I just don't want to spoil it because I kind of wanted it to be a surprise, but
It's
it's
all
something
good.
that definitely represents me as a person. Let's just say
That's
that.
fine. Forget I asked. I
No,
do
I
want to
feel
know
so bad.
though. Don't be. I do want to know though, like in the grand scheme of the record, is it going like, are we going to see more experimentation within your sound? Or is it going to be like, like a little bit of everything?
I feel like it's gonna be, a little bit of everything. It's still gonna have, you know, some of the same vibes that I still have with my music that is released.
Sure.
But I do want to slowly like bring my music into a place where it is like me, if that makes sense, where
Yeah,
it's just everything that I like from R&B to pop to soul, and not really put in a box. I'm a type of person that really likes to adventure around a lot,
should
especially when
be.
it comes to music, which not everybody likes in the music industry, but
Yeah,
that's just for me. All different types of music can really give you all different types of emotion and feelings and vibes, and
sure.
I want to give that to my listeners and the people who enjoy my music. So that's definitely the place that I'm going to be going with my music.
Cool. Well, I'm excited to hear it once it comes out, and obviously the singles along the way as we get there. And as far as music influences and inspirations, it really seems like you've got a lot going on in that space too. Is it based on like what you grew up listening, like what your parents had on in the car, or is it more like, I heard this a couple years ago and I'm crafting based on that?
It's actually my mom. It's funny because nobody in my family except my grandmother and my cousin who like live in the Netherlands are really like artistic
Cool.
driven. So like
Sure.
my mom, like she didn't really ever like listen to music like that much. It was really something that I kind of had to like research on my own and kind of
Okay.
find out. So when it came to that, I mean, I just fell in love with soul out of all music that I was
Sure.
listening to, like the soul, like rich voices, like Amy Winehouse, Whitney Houston, Etta James, Nina Simone. Like that was just what I connected with.
Yeah.
So I think growing up, listening to that is what really kind of taught me how to put that passion and energy, I guess, into that music, if that makes sense. Like
Yeah.
when somebody's feeling the song and they're really feeling the meaning of the song and the emotion that's behind it, or, compared to somebody who's just singing it. And I feel like those artists and musicians really, inspired me as a kid to create my own music that really spoke to me and also to others. Yeah.
That's a great answer. No, seriously, that's a great answer. Uh,
Awesome.
as far as like the process of making music, do you find that it's changed over the years, or does it always start with like, wow, I just lived through this life-altering situation, better write a song about it?
You know what's really funny? So, life has been pretty good lately. So it's like kind of like hard, like,
Right. People want to
sure,
hear the struggle.
like I'm doing like good things, right? So I find myself
Sure.
like going into the studio sometimes and I'm like, oh, like I don't have any like super issues myself in my life that I feel like I can vent out because that's not
Sure.
how I taught myself for years to
I get
write
it.
music. So right now I'm currently like I can still write, you know what I mean? It's not that, but
I
it's just
understand.
I found myself that my writing has changed a bit
Right.
over the years. But I feel like that also happens with age. You're changing, you're finding out who you are as a person, you're
Sure.
developing. So it's kind of things are gonna change. So I'm just kind of working that out right now. I
I
mean,
get it. No, it's like people, not all people, but people want to hear something relatable. But at
yeah.
the same time, I feel like nowadays people's attention spans are so short that they listen to music based on how it makes them feel rather than like, she's got the best lyrics. Like, oh, I relate to her so hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, hey, I think you can win both ways. I think you're good to
Oh, for sure.
go. Yeah.
Especially with TikTok nowadays. Oh
Oh,
Lord,
yeah.
the
My
attention
attention
span.
span.
I'm like, I'm on my For You page. I'm like,
Yeah.
like,
For sure.
like
Seriously, yeah, no, after holding out for like 2 years of downloading it, I'm like, all right, I'll just see what it's about. Now I spend my days in my chair. Just
like my Google or YouTube. I found
yeah,
myself. I didn't know how to cut a mango properly because I wanted to like make it look pretty with like the boxes and stuff.
sure.
And I literally found myself going on my TikTok going, how to cut a mango pretty. I'm like,
You're
what
kidding.
has life become for me that I like stopped using Google and like everything else and now I'm on
Uh,
TikTok
did
to
you did you learn? Did you find a video that helped you?
I actually found like
Well then,
hundreds of videos, which
resourceful.
it is resourceful. I will say that, but I was like, dang, I didn't know it's come to this point.
You know what? It's fine. It is what it is. Like, yeah,
Right?
it's got its pros and its cons, and its cons are making me feel like I can't pay attention to even a TV show anymore without being on my phone.
Literally.
So
Sometimes I just have
yeah,
to like set my phone aside and
yeah,
reflect for a few days.
no self-control at all. Anyway, I want to hear about more about you, and obviously you've been through the process of making music. You've gone from like the thought of what the song is going to be about to like hitting the submit button and it being done. What thing along the process is the thing that you look forward to the most, the thing that like makes you the happiest?
I would say two things if that's
And
okay.
there are no rules here, you can say whatever you want.
It's like I don't even know if there's like a word for this, but like the feeling that you get after working so hard in the studio for
Mhm.
whether it's a few hours, a few days, a few
Yeah,
months, in my case, sometimes a few years, to finally hear the song like mixed, mastered, complete, and to just love it. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
that feeling is just something that I don't know, like it's very fulfilling if that makes sense. And
absolutely.
I would definitely say that's one of my favorite moments when it comes to the creative process, but also, the release day, of course, and everybody
Totally.
and messaging me and telling me what they think of the song and maybe like their interpretation, which I love. I love when I
Right.
release the song and it means one thing to me, but to somebody else, they see a
Yeah,
whole different view, like almost like art, since music is art. So
totally.
it's one of my favorite things to hear people's reactions and their opinions on the song. Some people hate it too, and that's totally okay with
I
me.
get it.
Exactly, it's not gonna
And
hit
you got to take the feedback and run with it. I get it though.
exactly.
There must be the best feeling, and not only having the relief off your shoulders of working on something for so long, but literally creating something from nothing. And you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
creating
exactly.
original music nowadays has never been tougher. There's like so many songs that come out every single day. How can you be different from the next person? And like people still do it. So
It was really funny because I actually had an interview question where it says, what makes you unique and different from everybody else in the industry? And I was like, and I was thinking about it, and I was like, that it's like thinking about it, like there's millions of people in the world. There's so
Yeah,
many people in the music industry right now. It is very difficult to find that one thing that makes you unique and different from everybody else.
totally.
Sorry, that was just like a
No,
comment
no,
I had.
no. It's okay. It's a tough question, and there's maybe a right answer, but like I don't even know. It's complicated.
Me neither. I had to sit there and think about it for a really long time because I was like, that's like, how do you answer that exactly, without also sounding like kind of cocky, if that makes sense. Like, oh yeah, like
Well,
I'm,
yeah,
you know what I
it's
mean?
setting you up for failure almost.
I'm
Like
like,
you can't look like a normal person without answering that question kind of cockily. So I don't know. All good though. So I got a couple more questions for you, and they're not as crazy as that one, I don't think. But what is the next year of your life looking like? Maybe like some lofty goals or things that you'd like to accomplish.
you know, I'm actually really type of like go with the flow kind of person. I find that when I think too far ahead, I tend to stress myself out. But my vision for this year, after working for 8 months on my previous show,
Yeah.
shooting, I really just really want to dive down on my music. I feel like there was a time where I took about a 2 year gap where I didn't release any music,
Sure.
and I feel like right now is the time for me to really just get back to the studio and be writing, and slowly getting an album that I'm putting together because I
Yeah.
want to hopefully tour
Right.
within the next 2 years. So that's kind of like my look ahead plan. But yeah, besides that, it's just living life, making music, auditioning,
So,
and that's that.
honestly, it sounds great. You can't take life too seriously nowadays. Just chill, enjoy the highs, and keep doing
I
what you're
feel like
doing.
there's so much crazy, stressful stuff going on in the
Yeah.
world right now. Like sometimes, like you just got to sit back and really try to just enjoy the life that you have and be grateful for what you have. And I mean, at least for me right now, I just feel like I need to settle down and just focus on music and just me as a person creatively, if that makes sense.
Totally. You can't rush art, and that's one of the main things. Um, I have one more question for you, and basically the question is for the person that's going to discover you from this, for the person that's going to listen to your music for the first time. What is an opening message that you'd like to say to them?
um, sorry, I'm speechless for a second. I'm trying to get my
Okay,
words
all
together.
good.
You know, I would just say, this is gonna sound weird, but like, this is me. My music, who I represent myself as a person, is 100% authentically me. And there were so many years throughout when I was younger that I felt like I was hiding myself for other people, and I was scared to hear other people's opinions about me, if that makes sense. So,
Sure.
I got to a point in my life where I was just like, I don't care about that stuff anymore. I want to be who I am and be happy with what I do. And hope I just hope that whoever discovers my music and hears that stuff, that they hear that and know that, and hopefully not look up to that, but
I
feel
get
that
it.
they can maybe apply that into their own lives. Because I feel like right now, especially with social media, you can really get lost in that stuff and in this certain image of needing to look a certain way, be a certain way, and that's not realistic. Everybody's different, everybody likes their own things, and to just be yourself and enjoy life and do what makes you happy.
That was a beautiful answer. Seriously.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and I close all my conversations out with that question because it always usually gives a really positive response, but that was solid.
Awesome.
I sincerely, again, I want to thank you for so much for taking the time out of your life to do this. I'm glad we could find a time. And we're going to have links so that people can listen and follow and share and do all that fun stuff. And yeah, I look forward to hearing so much more that's on the way. And thank you.
No, thank you for having me. I mean, I had such a fun time talking about my music,
What
and
a blast.
hopefully I will be seeing you again soon when I have maybe an album coming out. Who
I
knows?
mean, I'll be here, so hit me up.
Awesome.
Sounds good. All right. Take care, Kayden, and stay cool, I guess. Yeah.
As well. Have a nice night.
See you later. Bye bye.